Good evening to our moon. Good evening to our the energy that responsible for the overnight security and of physical realm, also in a spiritual realm. And of Vodoun spirituality culture, we call that energy Met Kalfu. Kalfu means it's like a full stop in the four corner and the street. And we also have the gatekeeper, the energy that we call a legba. He's the energy that responsible for the key keeper, for the physical and the spiritual one. I'm giving honor and respect to the elders, the energy and the spiritual one that came before me. I'm going to talk a little bit about our anniversary that coming up for Haiti. The powerful spiritual work that take place, we call Bwa Kayman. It is a Bwa Kaymanboynan. The European give it different name. Remember, we did not wrote our history. The enemy that was torture us, they the one who wrote our history. But we know better now. Or indigenous or ancestor or elder or Lemurian or Star Sea or Atlantis. They talk to us to vision, to astral travel. We know what happened to Haiti. And August 14, 1791. I'm going to talk a little bit about the powerful men, the European, French, Spain, Espanol. They call him BOUKMAN. BOUKMAN, it's mean a man that read, a man that have knowledge, a man that understand. And he was also a spiritual man in the Abrahamic spirituality. Many of us been told BOUKMAN was born in the Caribbean we call Jamaica Island, which is next to Haiti. Due to my research, this man was a Senegalian. He was born in Senegal, now the modern name called Gambia. He was a Muslim. He was captured in Senegalian and transported as a slave to the Caribbean first, to the island of Jamaica. Then, Haiti before by the Spaniard, when Columbus get there, they call it Saint Domingue, which is the modern name now, Dominican Republic, where he reversed to his indigenous religious and become a Haitien Voodoo Ougan, and we will call it the high priest in the European language. And our language we create we call it the hunger. That means a high place that connect with nature, that can console the spirit in a high dimension, that can read for other people. So we call that, in our Haitian language, we call it hunger. And the woman, we call it mambo. That we call it priestess, if you want to use the modern name, modern language. This powerful man, after he attempted to teach other slaves, which is our ancestor, how to read, he was sold to the French plantation owner and placed as a commander, slave driver, and later a coach driver. So he was teaching our ancestor how to drive later. The French give them a name. The English name him as a nickname, Bookman. So he was an educated man. And remember, our ancestors that came from, they were stolen from all over the world, not just Africa. We were king and queen. We were independent. We were working for ourselves. We know how to read and write. Maybe those of us that was born in the plantation, or ancestor that was born in the plantation and Dominican Hispaniola Republic, those the one wasn't know how to read, because they were like breeding, like they were breeding them like dog. That way the colonizer can have more people in the land to do the plantation, to do the work for them. Because Europe, United States, French, Spanish, Spain, England, the entire world, they will realize, and our people, that these are United States. Some of us were enslaved in United States. In America, now you call United States, which is a corporation. The sugar cane, us has to provide food for them, especially sugar cane, tobacco, and the other part, the other multiple type of goods or people was working on to ship to Europe, and funds that's Europe that build on the back of our people in Haiti and other places in the Caribbean, because we were bought, kidnapping, and after the Spanish, after the murdering the indigenous people that were there, they realized we were mining also in the gold. We were mining gold for the European too. We were forced to mine gold. We wasn't like volunteer to do that. So we were forced to mine gold. We were doing all type of harsh work in the island. But due to my research, I find out some young men and young women wasn't able to leave after 21 years of age, because the condition they were working, it was horrible. Also, the people that were brought to the boat, transportation from all over the world, the condition when they get to the island, it was really bad for them, and able to some of them didn't live that long. But let me finish, tell you a little bit about BOUKMAN. His name was BIASSOU. That was his name. In our English, in our language, we also call people like that, we call them Maun. Maun mean powerful men that not gonna take no for an answer from you. in our language, we will call them to, and in our language, we'll call them rebels that not gonna allow you to do anything you want to them. So he was, the French call him, the English call him, give him a nickname called Bookman. Interpreted as a Islamic original spirituality man, as BIASSOU, Bookman, BIASSOU. After he taught, and secretly he taught people how to read, how to write. His symbol is synonym of for in the many part of the world. This man preparing when he noticed the torture of the people in the island. So he figured one day, due to his meditation, due to his connection with the creator, nature, and that wasn't gonna be forever. So he came to an idea how he's gonna prepare this original people that was stolen from the land with the family and divided all over the world. So he figured that can't continue like that. So he figured that's going to be changed in August. I know there was multiple ceremony that was done in different places, but the main ceremony that was done in Bwa Kaymanboynan, I mean, in the area was like called, that will be like a Membo. The area was a lot of wood, and that ceremony take place at night. And that they call it the ceremony, they call it Bwa Caiman. It's like an alligator, but it has nothing to do. In English, Caiman, in French will be translated to alligators, but it has nothing to do with alligators. It's just the European that name it that way by try to translate what they cannot understand in the land. The ceremony took place on the 14th of August, 1791. BOUKMAN was in charge of the ceremony. And we also have the Mambo that was working with BOUKMAN. Her name was Cecile Fatima. She was a press. Our ancestor planning this meeting with elder, with young, everybody was in charge. How they're going to gather together for that ceremony to revolt against the French, Spain, the entire European that were against our people, torture them. The last year, they were meeting for the slave revolt for weeks in advance. Yeah, the name I was looking for, BOUKMAN, the original name is Jean-François BIASSOU Dianot. That's the name of the high priest BOUKMAN. And he also has he created a mantra. I don't want to say prayer. He created a mantra that to call in the energy, we create a mantra as a prayer. We don't want to say prayer because it's too religious belief. He created a mantra how he was going to call in the energy to speak with his consciousness. He called it God, but you know, that's not what that means. It speak from his heart. And he claimed like the mantra that he calling on said like, this God who made the sun, who bring us light from above, who rises the sea, and who makes the storm rumble, that God is there to do you understand. Hiding in a cloud, he watching us, he sees all that the white do. When you say the white mean the European do to them. They said the God of the white push them to crime, but he want us to good deed. But the God who is good to others, us to vengeance, vengeance. He will direct our hand and give us help. Throw away the image of the God of the European, what you people call yourself white, who thirsts for our tear. Listen to liberty that speak in all our heart. Wrote by Ougan Dutty, Jean-Francois BIASSOU. That was the mantra that he created for our people before that revolt take place. When we look back what our ancestors did, we can ever be able to pay them for what they did to us. Enable not just of us, for humanity. Without that without that revolt against the French, the Caribbean, what the US called the Caribbean, will not be free. They will not be able to free themselves from the colonizer, including the people that were here, the indigenous people that were here in America. What I find out, our ancestor bloodline come from all over the world. But the first work that's going to take place to free them, to break the chain from the arm, from the legs, that was that ceremony from the 14th of August, 1791. I want to say thank you to you, my ancestor, Jean-Francois BIASSOU, Chinot BOUKMAN. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you done. For some of you guys that know, keep saying BOUKMAN was from Jamaica. No, he was brought to Jamaica as a slave, but later he ended up in Haiti. I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to our indigenous. I don't want to call them Tainos, the indigenous Arawak, the five Kasika of Haiti. We know who you are. We say thank you to you. We love you. Even our people that don't know who you are, because of the loss of the consciousness, loss of the culture, loss of who they are. I just want to say thank you to all of them that don't know the history. As a researcher, I'm searching everything to find our people all over the world, what they used to do. I want to say thank you. Because as our indigenous that were in the land before some of us was brought to the land of Haiti, you taught us how to you taught us how to draw in what we call the spirit veve. The veve we call in the ancestor, what we call what the veve we call in the spirit, what we call the loa. If we look in Benin, we look in Nigeria, they don't draw veve. They don't know nothing about the indigenous veve. That's which quantum, geometric, alchemy, and science. The only place you're gonna say the veve, found the veve, it's only in Haiti. Haiti is the only place that in our indigenous or in the Vodoun spirituality culture, we call veve. We draw in veve to call on any spirit that we want to communicate with in the physical realm. There is no other place you're going to find it. I'm going to do a PowerPoint for that. I want to send a PowerPoint to showing the veve our ancestor drawing to communicate with. It's so powerful in science. Even a lot of you guys that falling under Christianity, under religion, you don't know any idea how powerful our ancestors are. That's the reason you see today you lost your consciousness, you lost your culture, and even you calling in the energy, they can connect with you because of your low consciousness. I want to say thank you to our empire, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, that take place to lead that revolution after the ceremony. We want to give honor and thank you to Ougan Dutty. We want to honor thank you to Macandal. We want to give honor and thank you to Capral Amo. We want to give honor and thank you to even those that fight Shalmai Piral in 1915 that fought up the intervention of United States in Haiti. But they never left us. I just want to say thank you to all of you. I don't want to forget anyone's name because the revolution take place. It was all of us, all race. Some of the race that didn't look like us, they will play a role in the revolution as well. Now, it wasn't only the original people that were enslaved that played a role. We have a lot of our outsiders that don't look like us. A lot of our people that were in the land too, like we call the affranchis. A lot of them that we call the mixed race that were mixed with us, they play a role too in the revolutions. We also has in the other people that didn't look like us, that wasn't mixed with us, they play a role in that revolutions. I just wanna making a short video to give honor and thank you to all of you. We love you forever and ever. I'm going to do a PowerPoint, put in like the energy that was told. And to Vic Sama, I want to give you from the bottom of my heart, love to you, love from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to you. Because it wasn't a pig that we've been told that sacrificed itself to give us that freedom today in the entire world. It was a human being that gave up his life as a blood sacrifice. The European world in our history, they show it up as a pig. We do using pig to give the energy, to give thanks to the energy, just like you see in ancient Kemet. The pig play a big role in our culture. In ancient Kemet, they just like you see Isis and Set and Ewu. If you look on the reincarnation of that, you see, you can see the pig play a big role in our Kemet culture. But Haiti, the criminal that wrote our history, they take is a pig, but it has nothing to do with pig. The pig also use, and we do have an energy that called Dantor, Ezeli Dantor. She a patreon with that animal. We all have in our own animal we that patreon with us when we reincarnate here in this earth. All of us has an animal that reincarnate with us. If you know his, if you want to learn about your indigenous Mayan calendar, not just the Mayan or indigenous calendar, if you want to know about numerology, what you call your horoscope. As you can see in the Gregorian horoscope, you see Taurus, you see Scorpion, you see Gemini, you see all of that. We do have our own animal, if you know your ancient animal that born with us. So we, everything in the planet play a role on each of us. So it's not just we just show up here in the earth. No, we wasn't like that. We are part of everything that has life in this cosmic and that universe. So, and for pastor and priests and people who don't know, people who call themselves pastor that wanna be discredit what our ancestor did, this is a big curse on you. Sadly, a lot of you guys sitting here in the United States and the West, you benefit from the West, but without our ancestor, you will not be able to speak. You will not be able to be here sitting next to these European, go to school with them, sit in the same plane with them to travel all over the world. So if you don't know Haiti, or people or ancestors, you don't know the work they did for us. We wisen, we walk in their shoulder. If you don't know anything about the spirituality of Vodoun, Vodoun means spirit. Do not talk, do not badmouth anything about or the ceremony what our ancestor did. Do not argue and fighting. And when you been paying as a trader to pretending you doing a work when you want to get involved in politics. When you see Haiti the way it is today, if Haiti from after 1806 to 2023, if you see Haiti the way it is today, it's because of the European, of a group of Haitians, a group of the DR, a group of all over the world that never leave us alone. We still torturing, and our people, our children is torturing mentally. And if you see our president being murdered, or we have multiple presidents that's been murdered in Haiti, and including even the journalists that been murdered because you don't have a lot, you're not allowed to speak the wrong they're doing to us. So if you're here in the West, in French, Canada, anywhere, you see Haiti the way it is, we all play a role on it in destroying the indigenous land. And if you don't know, you ask question. Do not badmouth talking about Haiti, what our ancestors did to give us freedom. If you continue badmouth about our ancestor indigenous, the work they did before us, this is a curse you put in your family and yourself from generation to generation. This is a message. This is just a short video. I don't want to make it too long. I just want to give honor to all of our ancestors. I don't want to forget name because the children were doing it. Everybody were involved in the ceremony of August 14, 1791 that lead us to a revolution. That was a long battle. Imagine you 1791. We declare our independence. We fought and beat the hell of the European, of the French and Spain. You see what happened. Okay, you see what happened. And on 18, you see we take our independence. We're able to take our independence on 1804. Okay, so that was a long battle. And remember, from pre-colony 1492, when Columbus showed up in the land, even before that. Okay, Even before that, just think about all these years, the pre-colony, and then the 1492, we find out we were brought there, and you know, our indigenous were in the land first. Okay? Our indigenous was in the land first. So you know what they did to our indigenous. They torture us, they feed, they attack us with the dog they bought from England. They make animal eat us up. They they put syrup on us and then leave us in the sun. The ant was eating us alive. They whip our mother, they whip our brothers, they killing us, they breed us just like animal. That way, like it that way he can that way they can have more children born in the plantation for them to do the daily work for them. They can live comfortable. They can make French rich, United States rich, Europe rich, the whole entire world, because a lot of them was Haiti was the land that was the most profitable to the West and to Britain, to Italy, to Poland, to everywhere. The whole entire race of these modern European was feeding on us. To this day, they're still feeding on us, because to this day, if you look in Haiti, Haiti is a hot mess. Haiti, the way you see Haiti today, if you look at it back, even before, after we take our independence, we never have a chance to build. They went back at 1806 after Christophe Colomb, after Christophe, Henri Christophe, and Pétion, after they murdered the empire Jean-Jacques Dessalines. So they divide the land in two places. And later on, you see the land with Bois divided also, with Dominican Republic take half of the land due to the Spaniard and the European, after they murdering after they murdering thousands of Asian people that were in the land. As you can look, as today we speak, as we speak right now, you know the history, how the Dominican Republic is continue torturing our people. So it's a long battle. We got a long way to go, but it's not gonna be like that forever. No, it's not. All people going to be free, and I can't wait. Even or children or losing the consciousness. They you see them now. They killing each other with weapon. They kidnapping. They doing the whip. They chasing the people that born in the land that look like them. They torture them, and it's like it's like you feel like you were back in the plantation again. It's been 7 years. I can even travel home to see my mother, and she's getting older. So, and everybody in the same basket. And I usually travel to Haiti every. I usually travel to Haiti every other year. Well, right now it's been 7 years. I can even travel home to visit my mother. So it's not easy, and I'm a strong spirituality consciousness. I know IT going to be wise up. IT is free. I send a lot of light, positive energy to my ancestor worldwide. And we need you right now, because our people lost who they are. The colonizer went back, they take over, they take over our education, they take over our finance, they take over our agriculture, they take over everything that's supposed to help the people rise up. And we are not able to survive right now, and our people escape all over the world looking for survival. Some of them dying in the seawater. Some of them, if they get here to the United States, that doesn't mean they have a life. So I want to send love and light to all of you, all of life to all of my bloodline, from my mother's side, my father's side, and my Lemurian, my Atlantic, my Star Sea bloodline, my all of you. I don't want to forget name. I want to send peace on our earth, peace to Haiti, love and light to Haiti. And thank you for all you done. I say AYIBOBO, ASHENAGO, BILOLO, to our ancestor worldwide, to the spirit. and to the or Laku, to or culture or woods, Haiti rise up. Haiti will not stay the way it is, and the time is now to rise up. And sending love and light to all of my people that look like me, including those that don't look like me, because we all brothers and sisters. Even we just take a different body shape, we just take a different avatar to have an experience on this earth. We have nothing that we shouldn't be fighting against each other. We all a victim of a group of elite. We all a victim of a group of gray alien that predestiny that came to this planet and keep us in slavery. We shouldn't be killing and shooting at each other. I just want to say love and light. And those of you that want to connect, continue the spirituality work, do it with consciousness, do it with love and respect. Do not allow money, you people that so-called mambo and hunger, do not allow money to control you, to put in to destroying the work that our ancestors did before us. Have respect for our ancestors for the work they did. If you don't know, you better off and ask questions, sit and watch what they doing. But the Bwa Kayman is not something we should play with, but one day it's going to be changed. We shouldn't be shed blood in Bwa Kayman anymore. We shouldn't be open energy that people that bad energy that like to feed in on us. For some of you don't know, there was energy in this planet who feed on us. They need life. They need people like us to survive. So the blood is not a good idea when you continue doing ceremony and sacrifice animals to feeding and this progressing blood in this planet. Love and light to you, Mother Gaia, a sun, a moon, love and light to the star, love and light to everything that has life in our planet. Peace on earth. Thank you to all of you. Take care.